This is from a friend of mine at a school I used to work at. This is my first job at a middle school. Oh, Anthony Polina, we gotta hang out soon. Cereal soup. I mean, I feel like you'd say no right away. That's a good question. I guess it depends on how you define soup. If soup is just liquid with stuff in it, or floating in it, then by that definition, cereal is in fact soup. That's a good question. People say soup is hot. You can have cold soup though. It's like gazpacho, cold soup. This might require some testing. Thank you, Anthony, for the question, appreciate it. Let's see, what else we got here? Kyle Fleming, one of my really good friends, currently lives in Colorado, is a rock climber and outdoors extraordinaire. Hands down, my favorite channel on YouTube. Well, thanks, obviously. Do you have other hobbies or interests that might make small cameos in future films? I don't know, Kyle. Rock climbing? Gardening? Frisbee? Bit of both? Bit of all three? Thanks, Kyle. I'm glad that one of your good friends is your favorite channel on YouTube. I appreciate that. Maybe we'll do a collab over winter break, Kyle. Let's keep in touch. It's kind of weird answering questions from your friends, but I appreciate the question, Kyle. Okay, we'll do one more here. This is from Fadwa Ahmed. Hey, I just found your channel, and your layered clay really interested me. They look beautiful when they're dry, but I'd really like to see them finished after firing and glazing with everything. Star emoji. Congrats on the 5K subs. Wishing you the best. Thank you. Well, I don't fire a lot of things. I don't make a lot of work, but I'm slowly ramping up my production. So I've had 3 kiln loads so far. Everything after that kiln loading should come out in the next kiln unloading. But I want to fill the kiln. I like to be environmentally friendly. I don't want to fire like 5 pieces in a kiln just to get a kiln unloading. So I typically let it fill up. Good question. Check out this one here. Here's a little sneak peek. I just threw this one earlier today. This is a new color that I've been using. I bought it like a few months ago. Ooh, you see that? There we go, it's better, right? It's got a light purple. It should fire a lot darker than this, but this is a different kind of porcelain. The place I buy porcelain from went out of business, so I've been going through what I currently have and then thinking about either making my own porcelain or buying one. But I like this purple. This will also be in the kiln loading. Number 4. I don't know what we're gonna call it. Sweet. Question number, I forgot what number we're on. Next question. Carol Thomas, green and blue. I asked a question during the video, what colors do you want to see? So I guess Carol wants to see green and blue. Hunter wants to see blue and purples, and Foxy wants to see white, pink, and light blue. Miami Vice mug, so we'll see. From GB. Grats. Love your videos. Color combos. Would be interesting to see you in your interpretation of autumn. Can't think of a question, just health and happiness for you and yours. Wow, thank you so much. I feel like we should be friends. Good question. Congratulations. This is from Central Park Coffee Company. That's funny. Enjoy watching, entertaining and motivating. I'm a history teacher that crosses the hall to teach ceramics. No way, really? That's so cool. Okay, sorry. So congrats, enjoy watching. I'm a history teacher that crosses the hall to teach ceramics. Not as big as yours, but fun nonetheless. Hope you keep growing. You have a lot to offer. Thank you, Central Park Coffee Company. You want to buy some pottery for your coffee company? Awesome. Yeah, I hope I keep growing too. I want to do an Etsy store soon, but I gotta have, people to buy the work, so we'll see. Okay. What do you see as the best thing you ever made? And what is your favorite one? That's like 2 big questions in one. I know the best thing I ever made. Well, gosh. Can I pick 2? I'm gonna pick 2. They're currently on my walls at my house. One of them, I'll get the B-roll going for this. One of them is this set of prints I made when I was getting my BFA in sculpture in college. It's a series of 9 prints that are positioned, 3 by 3. And on each print, there's 9 copper plates that I used to make the print that are 3 by 3. And it was 9 copper plates that were interchangeable. And so you can see it here that I would just ink up and then rotate and print. Ink up, rotate, and print. Ink up, really ink up, tar the tin, wipe it off, roll it through the press, and then get these prints. And so this was on a huge gallery wall at my BFA exhibition. It was really cool. I only hang my own stuff if I like it. I have a lot of stuff I could hang, but I don't like hanging it if I'm not super proud of it. It's the best thing or my favorite thing? It's one of the two. It's either my best or my favorite. And then my other best / favorite. This is a hard question. Who asked this again? Hideshnuka? That's a good question. Here's my other one, it's upstairs. I ventured into the world of sheet metal, which is actually in my blood. My parents, or my dad and my grandpa were both heating and ventilation and air HVAC people. So I ventured into the world of sheet metal and bending and spray painting and riveting and constructing, and I loved it. It's like it was in my blood, right? So I made a lot of pieces, and this isn't the first one, but it's like my big kind of Omega Goliath piece that I had to tackle and finish. What you're seeing here are like pieces of sheet metal painted 2 different ways on each side, and done in like layers of red, orange, and yellow in different amounts, with also silver mixed in for some metallic qualities. And then I took all these pieces and I rearranged them. I drilled holes and rivets in the back, and I made this big, I don't know, it's almost like a pointed oval. And what you can't tell from this picture or from this video is the backs of all of these metal pieces you see are painted with the complementary color of what's on the front. So the ones that are overly kind of red have green on the back. The ones that are kind of orangey have blue on the back. And the ones that are more yellow have violet painted on the back. What's really cool is that in a really bright gallery space with a white wall, the area behind the red at the bottom will glow green. And then the middle area that's orange, behind that will glow blue. And then it's hard to see, but the top of it, the yellow part behind that will glow violet. Just subtly, like an aura around the piece. So that piece took hours and hours, a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of failure. Probably my best piece. That's my best one, I think, because I took a lot of risks. Like the holes drilled through there, I was like, all right, let's try this. And then I painted it. And if you look really closely, when I painted the acrylic paint, I tried to paint around the openings of the holes so I wouldn't get paint on the outside. Eventually, it was way too tedious to avoid the paint going through the hole, so I just accepted it and painted on an angle this way, on an angle this way, and let the drips kind of skew out in different orientations. In the end, it was like a really great mixture of like order and disorder, and the complementary colors, the kind of overall symmetry, the spatial relationships, the edges, the gradients. It was just like, that's probably my best piece. And I'd say the print is probably my favorite. Mr. Wilson. Hey, Mr. Wilson. I teach high school ceramics and was looking for a new technique for my advanced class. I decided on nerikomi since they have been researching and just stumbled on your videos. Oh, that's awesome. They're excellent, super helpful. I may mix different clay bodies to start instead of coloring our own. I understand the shrink rates should be the same. That's true, they should be. But in your experience, how far off can the clay be? I have brown that shrinks 12% and a white that shrinks 10%. Should that work? I'll test it first anyway, but thought I'd ask. Thanks. That's a good question. Ideally, you want the same shrink rate. I think that makes sense because if something shrinks more or less, you get cracking. But yeah, I've found that if it's close and if you let it dry slowly, and if it's not overly thin, usually you're okay. I would test it, anybody would, and just see if it works. It might work, and honestly, if you're just trying it out for the first time, just do it. And then if it works out well, then make some pieces. You might find a couple failures here and there. Yeah, like anything, you guys know how ceramics works. Do all of your tests because you can't undo it once you do it. Mr. Wilson, good question. It's a great question. It's only fitting we end right here on the new stand for the camera. I'm sorry it's not brighter in the studio. I don't get to film during the day very much. On the weekends, I'm typically very busy with things, and then I can film at night. So if you like the kind of darkish vibe, let me know. If it's scaring you, also let me know so I can change that. Is that everything? Oh, that's right, the pottery suggestions. You know what we'll do? I will dedicate a video to those 3 suggestions and make work like you suggested just for you. We have one more question to go. This is from Dan Kess. I just joined your channel last night. Great work. Thanks, Dan. Hopefully I'm not too late for comments. My question is, how did you become a potter, parentheses, teacher? Could you please tell about the chemistry of glazing? And are there any colors one can't create? I would love to see your final pieces fired at the end of your videos. Great question. Thanks, Dan. It's like 3 questions mixed in one. Could you tell me about the chemistry of glazing? Dude, there's so much. There's like books upon books upon books about chemistry of glazing. Oh man. Glass formers, fluxes, fillers, boron, enough this, enough that. You know, quartz inversion for, well, that's more clay, I guess. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think we'll touch on that in other videos, perhaps. Are there colors you can't create? You can make almost any color. With mason stains, you can get neons and yellows at lower temperatures. It's hard to get reds without using mason stains or more like, you know, processed materials. That's why, you know, cone 10 reduction, getting your nice, everyone always shoots for a nice copper red. That's the most sought after color, I feel like, in a cone 10 reduction kiln. But, you know, with commercial glazes, you can get oranges and yellows and reds, but for like deep crimson reds is probably the most sought after color. People will brag and flex about their like ox blood red pots, which are typically done cone 10, like 2350 or whatever it is, cone 10 reduction, because that oxygen reduced atmosphere is what really allows the, I think it's the oxygen pulled from the copper oxide to turn red. So you can even make metallic gold and silvers with lusters. I think the possibilities are limitless. It's just harder for certain colors to show up. That's what I would say. Thanks, Dan. That's a great question. And we'll close with that one. Thanks for all of your questions. This will be the last of the Q&A session. Maybe we'll do another one in the future. I appreciate all of your comments, all of your likes and subscribes. I appreciate that you were here, that you were still along with me for this ride. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.